What's up, everyone? I am the Kaiju no Kami here with...
If you don't know by now, I'm Kurelika King.
And we are going to be talking about Zenkaiger Episode 7. The Dark Prince...
Has a short fuse.
Short fuse. I was thinking has a temper, but yeah, short fuse.
Well, another term for it is the Prince of the Demon World is short-tempered. So there's two different translations. However, I have to say I'm a little confused. How is he a prince? His father is Barashitara, one of the commanders.
Well, we don't know that.
That's what everything I'm finding out. Obviously, I don't believe everything I read on the internet, but multiple sources are showing that Barashitara, the commander, is his father, not the Demon King.
Who's the Demon King?
The wall dude with Yago? His name is Great King Bogoas.
Okay, but how would he be a Demon King?
Well,
he's not a demon, he's a robot. He can't be a demon, he's a robot. Demons are not robots.
You are aware that this is Sentai. Nothing ever makes sense.
But anyway, he couldn't be the son because the Barashitara, he didn't even know who he was last week. So I would say don't go with that one.
But nevertheless,
Stacy.
Yeah. And all I could think of was the song Stacy's Mom from the 90s. I am not going to try to sing it. If you ever
don't sing it.
Get a chance to look it up. It's totally an inappropriate song, but it makes me laugh because ever since I've heard that song, anytime I've met anyone named Stacy, the theme song that plays for them is that song in my head. And it's from the late 90s.
You're old.
But nevertheless, his name is Stacy.
Well, I did like when he's just sitting there eating his takoyaki and Kaito's trying to talk to him. He's like, "You're not important. Go away."
I like Kaito. His detective work here was brilliant. You're a singer, an idol, a magician. But I think what I found fascinating is that Kaito just runs past him, going in the same direction, because Stacy, before we know he's Stacy, after he finishes takoyaki, he gets up and says, "I have a job."
No, it's funnier when Kaito's like, "I'm also a Zenkai," and then Stacy's already gone.
Yeah, he's already walking. He's like, "I got a job." So he's walking along, minding his own business. Kaito runs past because obviously the direction of the fight is past where he's going. And he just runs past and turns around and mildly waves to him, like, "Hi!" and continues running. Stacy, on the other hand, takes this as an invitation
to race.
And I'm like, if this is how it's going to be, this pseudo rivalry between them, I think that's going to be hilarious. Because that would just make it so much funnier to have this pseudo rivalry.
Yeah, I'll talk about that after we get through the episode itself. But yeah, I like when they get there and they're fighting, and the other guys have already beaten the bad guys.
And just for point of reference, not all of the Rangers are there yet. It's just Majine, Vroom, and Duran. Gowan, being Gowan, loves his humans, takes this old man for a ride home. Literally carrying him on his back.
It was mostly to get out of having to
clean up. He didn't want to do work. So they get there, and Kaito pulls out the henshin device, and he's like, "I guess you didn't need me." And Stacy is like, "Oh, you have one of these too. And he pulls out his big purple gun. And
with the Iago designs on it.
And all I'm thinking is when I see that is him thinking, I want that gear to Zinger. Because it's purple and badass looking. And I'm a little confused though. I thought the color for evil in Japan was white, not purple.
Well, he's purple because he's royalty.
Is that really?
That's a lot of also what purple's associated with is royalty.
Oh, I didn't know that. So like wealth and privilege and shit
Plus,
like that.
it probably means he'll become a good guy later on. Because all the purple villains, except for Inryuki, become good guys later on.
Well, yes. I've already foretold this in my mind that he's going to become a good guy. Because that's just...
how it is.
Exactly.
Which will be kind of disappointing, but at the same time...
Well, as long as he doesn't become a good guy right away. But then again, Kira Major did surprise us.
Yeah, but Kira Major wasn't written by Junko.
I'm trying to have positivity here.
Okay, but anyway,
so...
he transforms in this... Or, no, he sends out the Go Rangers with a really, really skinny Key Ranger.
You're so... It's years! He could have gone to Weight Watchers. Be kind.
But that was one of the good attributes, is that they weren't all the same body sizes.
I know. So they have Go Ranger, which I like how they're called Secret Sentai. I almost feel like the secret part is because they weren't originally...
Well, no, it's Himitsu Sentai. Himitsu is secret because they were meant to be a secret agency.
Oh, I thought it was because they weren't part of canon initially.
No. Himitsu Sentai...
I liked my whole conspiracy theory more.
Wow, your conspiracy theory was debunked in 1975.
I guess. Even though I just originated it in 2021. So you have that. Then you got, it was Gao Ranger or Maju Ranger first?
Bokinger?
Oh, I thought Bokinger came after.
No, he did Go Ranger, Bokinger, and Magi Ranger.
Oh, and then he did Gao Ranger with Gaon later on.
Yes.
So Gaon comes into the scene, confused as all get out, because you have the former teams, obviously they're humanoid, unlike the current team, they're not robots for the most part. And then you have a human...
Unless you go by the Operation Overdrive version, then the Red Ranger's a robot.
And then he sees Stacy. I have to stop thinking the stupid song. And then Juron goes to attack Stacy, and basically he blocks him.
Cock blocked.
He's a cat, so it would probably be something different. But nevertheless, I agree.
Yep, and then obviously the battle ends. They go.
Well, no. They use the Kaku Ranger.
Yes.
So Kaito uses the Kaku Ranger gear to obviously embed everybody with the power so they could all disappear.
Yep.
Like ninja.
The exact opposite of ninja. We're going to be secret ninjas, not ninjas that are just going to reveal ourselves to the whole world.
And then I think we...
So then they had their little talk, and then Gaon ran away, and the grandma just started smacking Juron.
See, I can't agree that was a little talk. Basically, you're harnessing my grandmother's thought of, we're only having a discussion when it's a full-out argument.
I'm just saying, just to get speed up. They have a talk, then... Kaito goes and meets up with Gaon and...
Well, this was a Gaon episode, which I thought was really awesome because it tested what I think was your biggest problem with him in episode 2. He was so focused on people it was hard to really see him as like a hero or a fighter. Because he was just focused on how much he hates Kikanoids. And here, it's like, okay.
Well, like when they're like, okay, cool, so what do we do about Stacy? I don't know. Well, everyone else is just randomly fighting because we'll just fight because they're enemies. So maybe that's what we should be doing?
If somebody attacks you...
And then that's when the Gal Rangers and Go Rangers came up and started fighting, and the others came in, and then Kaito went and confronted Stacy, and Stacy's like, I'm just half human.
Well, I do like the fact that they used Go Ranger, because it essentially, Zenkaiger is, his costume form is Big One. Mm-hmm. Whereas all the other ones...
No, you mean Aka Ranger.
I thought it was kind of a merge of Big One and
But
Aka
Big
Ranger.
One's Jaka. Not Go Ranger.
See, okay, yes, so Aka Ranger.
Yeah, he's meant to be Aka Ranger in a way. I did like, even though we haven't seen the movie, it was kind of funny though initially with the reference to the team up movie that happened in Japan a few weeks ago, where they're like, "Oh, Aka Ranger, I haven't seen you. It's nice to see you again." And then, so then we have the confrontation with Stacy, and Stacy transforms, which his costume kind of looks like it resembles Battle Fever J costume with the helmet, the way the helmet's done.
And I've seen a lot of people say that online. When I was reviewing it just to get some feedback that I didn't have, they said the exact same thing, that they're like, oh wow, it's very similar to Kamen Rider meets Battle Fever J, because of the scarf specifically. And so people are wondering if his ki, even though it says dark in kanji, is supposed to be a reference to Battle Fever J. I don't know enough about the series outside of your review, so...
Not that I can think of.
But, I thought that was pretty cool, even though his name is Zenkaiger.
Stay Caesar.
Stay Caesar. I thought it was, oh yeah, Stay Caesar.
Or Stas Caesar. Something like that.
But it was kind of interesting because I was like, oh, so Stacy is basically a short, like a nickname.
For Stay Caesar.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Because I've met men named Stacy. Very rarely, but so it's not unheard of. So after the fighting...
And then we have this cool battle, and then he gives the Go Ranger powers to everyone.
Yep. Which that was kind of cool, because then Aka Ranger and... What's the Blue Ranger and Go Ranger?
In Go Ranger?
Yeah.
Owl Ranger.
Oh, so it's basically the colors.
Yeah.
That.
Midori, Ki, Momo,
Okay.
Owl, and Aka.
That makes sense then. I don't know why I asked when blue in Japanese is owl. So Owl Ranger grabs the football because it's not
Well, that was after.
I know, but they go through the whole
Go on your thing where they're scratching the Gal Rangers, I mean. Gal Rangers are scratching them up. And then it cuts to commercial, and then suddenly they're in a factory area.
It's... I want to know one thing real quick. Is this entire thing in a green screen field? Because that looked like a factory.
I don't think that was, because it didn't look like it was green screen.
I just don't know what's green screen anymore, because I thought they had a whole dome for green screening.
Well, we could clearly tell it is usually green screen.
I know, but it still doesn't make sense to me. So I did like the fact that they're actually doing more with the powers, because in all honesty, it did feel like the last couple of episodes, it was more lip service to have the powers. This one, it actually felt legitimately part of the story and plot.
So yeah, then we have the Go Ranger football attack.
Yeah, I like how they both combine or hit each other. That was kind of cool.
And then Stacy calls up the mechs.
Which, okay, one thing that somebody mentioned online that I thought was awesome is because they're in boxes.
Like model kit boxes.
Yes, that's what somebody said. They're like, oh my God, Stacy has model kits. That's awesome.
Or the Manipula series boxes.
I was like, oh my God. Because I just thought of them like gray cards because when he calls up the team, everybody's in gray until they fully realize and then they turn colorized. I thought of them as cards. It wasn't until I looked online I was like...
Oh, I thought of model kits as soon as the first 4 showed up. I was like, oh, they're like model kit boxes.
But you have Daiboken.
Mm-hmm.
I am terrible with all the names, so you say them.
No, continue.
No,
I want to see if you can do them. Come on, we got Daiboken from Bokinger.
Well, there was... I am terrible with the mech names. Just do it.
Okay, we've got Maji Ranger is...
Maji...
King.
Oh, Maji King.
Maji King.
I've seen these series, and I still can't remember the name.
Gal Ranger is...
Gao King?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was right. Yay!
And then Jude Ranger is...
Ju King?
Come on, I've said this name a million times. You've said the name a million times.
I literally can't remember.
Daijujin.
Daijujin.
Yes.
It sounds like gibberish.
Daijujin.
It still sounds like gibberish every time.
And then we have the mechs get their asses kicked. I did like when they were trying to, Kaito was trying to help them out by recombining them. When Stacy would not give him the chance to, and they're like, we can't just wait here.
Well, Stacy is gearing up to be a threat. I do like the fact that Ijiru basically is employing Stacy. Ijirud.
Ijirud. Yeah, okay, Ijirud, yeah.
ILJIRUDE. And he's all proud of himself for this. I'm still trying to figure out where the short fuse comes in, though. Or the bad temper.
Yeah, I didn't...
Because there was no, temper tantrum. No, the only thing I could think of as a short fuse is that he didn't want to talk to Kaito, and he decided to race Kaito. But the way they both finished the race, it actually seemed like they both legitimately enjoyed it.
But then, so we have which was the coolest mech battle.
I am just happy that you got the mech battle that you wanted.
And it was cool getting to see the Daijujin suit, a brand new version. And then when they're defeated, he calls on multiple Sentai mechs. And it was the first...
Okay, maybe that's his temper tantrum. He loses, so decides to one-up his own experience by calling all the mechs.
All these mechs. Which we've had, because we had Mega, Galaxy Mega in there. Who else was in there? Abareno.
Mm-hmm. There were a lot. It was basically a row, and a row of model kits. and
then the episode ends, and I'm the first time like, are you kidding me? What?
Okay, that was perfect because he hasn't done that yet for this series. You have not literally just wait, what? It's over?
What do you mean it's over? This is getting good.
So, I have to say one person's headcanon for this is that Ijirud is going to be Kaito's father. That somehow he got transformed.
I don't...
Because another person...
That'd be giving too much credit to Junko.
Well, another person actually also thinks that Stacy is kind of like another version of Bosco or The End.
Well, that's all I thought of was The End for... when they first revealed, said what his powers were, I'm like, oh, it's like The End.
And so people are wondering if basically the references to, like, the parrots is kind of a reference to something from Zenkaiger. It's amazing how many conspiracy theories are out there. I thought of Dien, but I hadn't thought of Bosco because...
Well, Bosco, because he had the powers to, like,
he did.
Silvercore and I yesterday when we were driving back here, he was telling me he's like, yeah, he's got the powers of Bosco.
I never thought of Bosco. Dien was the only one I thought of, and I'm like, wait, Bosco is Super Sentai, so it makes sense.
The one thing that is driving me nuts is next week, Twin Kaiser appears.
Two Kaiser.
Well, what I've seen on the name is Twin Kaiser.
I've seen it, Two Kaiser.
So, whatever. I'll just go with Gokai Gold.
I know, he actually looks like costume-wise.
So, we don't even get time for Stacy to get some development. This episode was his development because now, next week, there goes all the development because now we're going to be developing Gokai Gold.
So that is the hard part that I'm a little surprised about.
And it's like, okay, so are you telling me, Toei, that you already ran out of material to develop your core 5 Rangers now because you already have to throw your 6th Ranger into the show at episode 8?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that there's a method to the madness. I know what you're going to say. It's Junko. We can't give Junko that much credit. However, if we don't have hope, then what's the point of watching the show?
If I wanted hope, I'd go to Kofax.
Children's show. Children's show. Nevertheless, I am excited to have a new Ranger, but I do agree it's way too early because we're at episode 8.
It's too soon. We just got introduced to an actual villain who might actually be able to be developed compared to our robotic cast.
But I'm kind of going with it as he's still going to be developed.
Yeah, but even Bosco got 2 episodes before they brought in Gokai Silver.
Well, how many episodes is this season slated to be at this point?
We won't know until he gets closer.
Oh, so there's no estimate at this moment?
It'll just be the normal year-long show.
Okay, so between 48 and 52.
Well, depends on what goes on in the world.
Well, and it depends on the Olympics as well.
Yeah, because there's going to be 2 weeks they're going to be off for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. So we're probably thinking about 48 to 50.
Barring no pandemic madness happens.
Exactly. So if we have, let's say, 40 more episodes left, that there is a lot of latitude that it can become a one-hit.
I know, but based on past experience with the Sentai shows...
I will say that they are bringing the 6th Ranger in too early.
Mm-hmm.
That I do agree with, because on average, most 6th Rangers have come in around, what, the 15 episode mark?
It used to be 17s for the 90s and early... Well, actually, 90s it was all over the place. It would be 17s and then 30 and...
Well, yeah.
Then in the 2000s, it would be around episode 17, and in more recent years, it was usually between 12 to 15.
So you at least got enough time. I'm not believing that they just don't have any more room to develop their characters, because there are ways to develop the characters.
I know, it's just that now we have another... It's just too soon. We should be getting the main cast fleshed out fully before we have another cast member added to them.
Well, I kind of want to see if this is going to catapult a story, because that's the other thing I would love to see for a series. I understand Junko And I understand your constant
And
argument.
that's how you know it's Junko! That will become the catchphrase anytime something goes wrong. And that's how you know it's Junko!
But I'm kind of hoping Two Kaiser, or Twin Kaiser, whatever his name shall be, he actually comes in and helps propel a story. Because that's the one thing that we have been doing fairly well on. Is each of the episodes, no matter how minuscule it's been, they've had some element that has tried to connect to the story at large, which is obviously Kaito's parents. And so it's kind of a consistent hope of mine that they're going to build off of that and build on a story. And if it means bringing in additional characters to do so, I'm more than willing to sacrifice having them come in sooner if it can offer a great return.
But Stacy should have got to at least one more episode by himself.
Yes, Stacy and his dad, because there's no mom, really should have an opportunity to get some more development. And who knows? After next episode, we may see development, but it might be in shorter bursts versus... Yes, I know what you're going to say.
I'm not saying it.
I am just hoping...
Junko!
Really? She's had to have done something good. You can't tell me that every single thing she has ever done has been absolute crap.
I don't know. I'm just going by how her Sentai history and Kamen Rider history has been.
Well, you also have to think, we're now a, B-tier series, not A-tier any longer? And look how well Cure Major did dropping down tiers. Maybe Junko could have been in the grips of a battle with toy sales and everything else. Because from what I'm looking at online, and even my own personal perspective, this show is very popular. And I bet many of our viewers also enjoy this show. And so I want to give her and the crew as much credit as possible, because this was another episode that hit it out of the ballpark. Yeah, this is an entertaining episode. Let's watch Kaiju Okami on his cell phone.
Yes. Well, and there he is, hitting the tab to paste the name into the search engine. And there it is, going into the search. The search is coming up. This is very exciting. It's like watching golf, but more exciting because it's Kaiju no Kami.
No, it's like watching paint dry. This is what I deal with all the time. So what did you find?
Nothing.
All of that for nothing.
Yes. That was a completely pointless plot point.
That was a completely, absolutely...
Like Junko's writing.
...waste of our time. So, with that said...
Awesome mech battles, awesome episode overall. I want to see more of what they do with Stacy, and I want him to be a villain who's villainous and actually gets development. And I can't wait to see a frickin' mech onslaught next week. I
just have to say, Zenkaiger, keep up the good work, even if it means it's Junko's doing. I applaud Junko for what she's been doing as the showrunner, because I've been liking the series. And I am proud that my Predator character actually kind of earned a little bit more of his tentacles today. I don't know what they're called, dreads, tentacles. he actually became more predator-ish. So, yay, Gowan!
Phrasing. It is a kid's show. Predator.
Okay, not that type of predator.
I'm just saying phrasing.
Schwarzenegger's Predator. That even sounds worse. The Predator movie. There's got to be a good way of saying this. I don't think there is. But moving on, I enjoyed the episode. He finally enjoyed an episode.
Well, I enjoyed last week's episode, but this was the first episode that I was truly wowed by.
Stacy is awesome. I actually...
His shoes are cool, too.
Someday we're going to have an episode you just talking about favorite fashion of Sentai. Nevertheless, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next episode, even if it is bringing in the Sixth Ranger way too early.
Says the person who in every Garo episode was like, ooh, I love those boots. Ooh, I love those shoes. Oh, I love that purse.
Well, yes. But nevertheless, I'm going to keep on saying that because I'm trying to get him back on track. I had fun. Thank you for watching, as always. And hopefully, we will have more episodes for you soon. If you like Kaiju no Kami, please check him out on Patreon at Kaiju no Kami.
Patreon? Yeah, Patreon.
Twitter at Kaiju no Kami. Facebook at Kaiju no Kami, which I'm the one managing. Or on Instagram at Kaiju no Kami. And also, you can find us obviously on YouTube at Kaiju no Kami. And our website is creativitybydesignllc.com.
Alright, there's one last thing you forgot to do.
Bye.
No.
What?
Click
like, subscribe, and the bell notification if you want to get more content by us because you think we're awesome. Bye.
Well, if they're watching me, they already know that we're awesome.
Well,
or that I'm awesome.
You're awesome too. That's why you keep on coming up for this train wreck of a show with us. Because apparently watching a couple argue with each other each week is so fascinating. Hey, if you want to see more of us arguing about different things, we've just recently watched a fan service anime that we could do a review for if you'd like.
Go Danner.
Go Donner.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Bye.
Bye.